This video may be the last video I do. I wrote a statement on my page this evening, but I could be wrong in my assessment about the sister. And this video is really her video. Yeah. After I read the statement, I wish to do, I think, most of the poems that have come for her. If I can get this UFO to set right and thing. The last one I made was strange. I mentioned the name of Satan, and I was hitting the zither so strong that all the sound went out as soon as I said Satan. As soon as I mentioned his name, I went to mention his name, the sound went out of the video recorder. And though I may think I know what I'm going to say to you, I never really do. And end up saying things that I had no expectation of saying whatsoever. Because I never came with you with typical pimp presentation, spiritual pimpery. I never write out what I'm going to say, nor do you find me pulling any cool bars out of my back pocket, as one brother does before he delivers them off of his behind to give a cool bar to the Holy Assembly gathered together on Fridays. I'm not putting him down for that. I'm just saying I would never do that. Like some preachers prepare their sermon while they're sitting on the toilet. I've had them tell me that. They get their message while they're writing while they're on the toilet and stuff. I guess it's according to, once again, your capacity. You can't get a gallon of Captain Morgan in a shot glass. We got some people with shot glass consciousness. We got some with gallon consciousness, quart consciousness. Yes. So there's so many different views in the world based on people's capacity. This is why all the great masters that ever appeared among mankind spoke in parables. Because everyone's capacity is not the same. I wrote this, but I'm also one you need to hear and not just read, if I can do this. before I read Letitia's poems to her so she can have them heard from me. To my author's page, I was looking at video 127. I felt altogether different when I was looking at it than I did when I delivered that video. But when I delivered that video, I had such hope and inspired faith that I could motivate some people here. And that's why it's so intense. But you don't see that intensity in me now. You see and you feel more emptiness. Because I don't feel the same way anymore. After I've looked at the situation and it's gone down here for 4 years. Over 20,000 posts being reached a week. No telling how many people on the page right now that I'm giving my all to with no compartmentalization. Man, if I had money and any of them wrote to me and they were hurting, I would give it to them. But they would let me and my little boys starve to death. And all the little black boys and little black girls I want to do something for in Senegal that don't have nothing. They have nothing. You know, I see them now. They probably got a little bit bigger now since I've been gone for 2, maybe almost 3 years. The little fellas will come and want to get under my blanket at night and be with me. You know, have one pair of pants to wear all year round. No shoes. Some of the prettiest little girls I ever seen in my life. One dress with holes in them all year. And I wanted to change that. I thought if I gave my heart to you, that you would give yours back to me. But I think the sister that threw my prayer beads back through the mail slot and did the low down action she did, I think she's absolutely right about the people that are on Facebook. You're not on Facebook for reasons that I'm on it for. You're on it for garbage. Who shot John and who left so-and-so's wife and what some fool is thinking about something real stupid and silly. And they search for that garbage. And they're looking for it on my page. And if they don't find it, they'll read theirs into mine. Because I'm not a garbage collector. I'm a soul collector. And I've been looking for God's saints. Not that I would call myself a saint, but they're the closest things we can get to the prophets. You know? And so I follow their teachings. Because I want to see God. I can't see myself living 60 or 70 years in this hell and going through all I've been through and not end up seeing the one who created me in the end of this. So I've been trying to appeal to those that are seeking the same thing. I just don't think they're here. Before I read Tesha's poems, I want to read this letter to you that I wrote and left on my page. And I don't know how well written it is, because I don't care no more about how well written it is. You know I can write it, because I've given you my best. And what I've gotten in return is just not equating that. And I don't think people are honest when they say that they don't look for something in return. Yeah. You give out goods, you're not looking for evil. You give out food, you're not looking to starve to death, are you? You give out love, you're not looking for somebody to give you back hate, are you? Yeah. You give your best, you're not looking for someone to give you their less, are you? Do you keep giving to people that give you their less? So hold up a minute. If I can get these dials working right. Once again, we're flying on impulse power tonight. But we're going to walk a little bit in a few. Inshallah. You know, when I pastored in Columbia, South Carolina, 300 plus membership church that had fallen into despising behind some things a previous pastor had done there. And they sent me down here to pastor these people. And I went and got the old folks out of their houses. All the young people have been run off that could sing. Cleves Memorial CME Church, Beaumont Avenue, on the hill. And they didn't think I could pastor this church because I never pastored before. The CME Church is a very political church. You have to come up with conference claims, and I never held a conference in my life. I'd sat in some under my previous pastor. And they didn't think I could raise no $5,000. And when you do that, you're supposed to be across the sheet when you stand up at the great conference and given another year to pastor, because you've been a good hoe. Pimp sent you out to get his money, and you got it. So I hung my Revelation of the Word Bible chart up, and Stewart came to me. He said, Johnny said, "What you doing, Reverend Smith? Yeah, you don't have no Bible study here." And I told him, "That's your problem. You got no word in you." I said, "But you're going to have one here now." And he said, "Well, won't nobody attend it? Won't nobody here attend it?" And I said, "Well, we'll get everybody from all over town to come, from all the other churches. They attend it." So we started this radio broadcast. And it became the hottest radio broadcast in the history of that city. Because I would go on the air live, and I would play the sermon with the choir and everything on tape. And then I would open up the airwaves, and I would talk to the people like I'm talking to you now. And they would call in, and I would pray for them over the air. And after a while, the members of that church couldn't get in the parking lot for all the people from all the different other churches that were coming to hear me teach. And then we had this hottest choir. Church was smoking, it was growing, it was expanding, people would come. And we got on TV with the choir. Then I got this call from one of my brother pastors in the city. He said, Reverend Smith, you in trouble. I said, how am I in trouble, brother? Yeah, brother, you can't be going on TV. What am I supposed to do, brother? I ain't supposed to go out and give the gospel to people and cast a spell on people's hearts and bring them from darkness into light. So I had about 7 people that were behind me because the rest of them sat down, like some of these brothers here did that I thought would help me build a group page. And I invited them, these great poet friends of mine that I did reviews on things. And every one of them Nagaros sat down and showed me they behind. Wouldn't post, wouldn't contribute. So now we got about 974 members in the group. We got Kathy Lee writing. We got Muhammad Dar submitting. We got Tony giving us his videos. We got new poets now starting to post. I got some old ones up in there sitting on their behinds, trying to squat a crop on me. And I'm getting ready to send their jealous, no good behind straight out the door. Because I don't promoted them, talked about them, he wouldn't even acknowledge my positive comments about us, how low down they are. And where I'm at now, I'm not that passive person I once was. And the kind of faith I got, they ain't got it. And they need to stay way away from me because they'll get hurt fooling with me without me even touching them with my hands. Because I am totally obsessed now with God, in love with God, that they don't believe in. They think it's a principle, a concept, some philosophical jargon that they come up with. But the God I met has the power to pick a man up off the floor in glory and hold him in the air twice until he has to be let back down. And he be let back down just as softly as he went up in the air. In this room, before I had any knowledge of anything, before they downloaded me to believe Jesus was God or anything else like that, I was praying to him who made me. And I asked him, was he as real today as he was in the day of Moses? And I was sincere. And he indeed answered me. So that's why I've been so intense and so full in coming to you. But that ain't what you're looking for. So I'm going to stop giving it to you. It's always good to go back and look at where you were so you know where you now are. So you may know where you are going. Now I look at this video 127 and I realize someone needs to lock this fool up in an outsane institution they do not make. because they're too stupid to realize insane asylum is the wrong dumb word to use for people like this fool on this video, 127, who at the time of his recording really believed he was dealing with those who had the capacity to become human beings and saints. But I now feel and see things altogether differently, and now know I'm not dealing with the majority of people this way at all. And now know I am dealing with the majority of lawless souls. Not that I don't love them, I just recognize what I'm dealing with. Lawless souls that cannot value a street corner that does not have a traffic light, but that they indeed have to have a traffic light. For without it, these lawless people would come to the intersection and go through it only concerned about themselves and kill every single person at this intersection, where the saintly person who needs no law or traffic light would stop and yield his own going through at the grace of yielding to consider his brother and sister before himself, and want for his brother and sister what he wants for himself. He would yield his own going through at the grace of yielding to consider his brother and sister before himself, and after seeing them go through first, they would then emerge to go through after making sure their brothers and sisters were safely on the other side of that intersection. For the law was made for the lawless, and grace was made for the saints. No, tonight, this man, I now realize that when this video 127 was made, cared too much. I now realize he is wasting his time caring about non-human beings who will never be human beings, for human being is not within them. And now I just do not wish to be bothered with any of these people. And that this man's intensity and vast love and caring for them is wasted energy, and will be more appreciated by the dead at the cemetery he often visits. And then this sister writes me such believable words, giving me hope and love between two human beings again. So much so that she inspired me keeping this page in existence for her, which saved it for them, you. So I could not send this sister a friend request because of the way her page is set up, that wrote me such wonderful words, declaring such love for me. So I wrote and asked her to send me one, and she has never had the reciprocity to yet do so, or answer any of my several messages to her, or give not one single response to any of the several poems she has now received from me. Still, though, believing in her words to me, I sent her my address, and because she sounded so much like me, and I never thought I'd ever find another sister in this entire omniverse that thinks like me, or feels like me. Or has my kind of inner capacity to sense and taste and touch and smell and feel and hear the same kind of way I do. But her words struck those chords in me. the same kind of capacity I have. And then I looked at the video of the drumming and saw something I had never seen before. And it was like a flash of understanding came to my consciousness that the drum is struck 22 times at the end, and I did not think this. It's though, and it was, a doing of the striking I had nothing to do with. Like they say, when the prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam threw this sand or dust, it was not him who threw it. And I'm not saying I am a prophet. I'm saying I did not strike that drum 22 times. But it took me to passages in the Quran that would indicate this sister is supposed to be with me for the rest of her life, or my life. And that she's the sister I've been waiting for a long time in my room. But I'm reading a letter, and I need to do that. Still believing in her words to me, I sent her my address and told her to just come to me. Still no reply from this sister that wrote me such wonderful words. Well, this has awakened me all the way awake and made me to know I am completely wasting my most valuable time here like I once wasted it on the only girl I ever once loved, who was in my arms one day, seriously, right here on the couch talking to me, telling me how wonderful my scented caps were that she liked to keep. She said they had a sacred fragrance to them, that she slept with them under her bed, kept her close to God and to me. And I had given the sister a set of prayer beads that were mine, that were given to me, that were full of barakah from that saint that had given them to me. And I loved her so much and thought so much of her, I gave them to her. Made me to know I'm completely wasting my most valuable time here like I once wasted it on the only girl I ever once loved, who was in my arms one day declaring such love for me, and my scented hair caps, asking for my prayers and my praying for her on that day in the Marcella that I created in the front for worship and for teaching and for meditation and Tai Chi and those kind of things. So people come to the back door to get to me because I don't deal with the front and I can't hear up there no way. And if you don't knock hard on the back door, I can't hear that either because I'm always in this room where I had my first initial encounter with the living God of all creation. And the more I stay in this room, the less I want to be bothered with human beings, so-called. You get used to your best friend being with you. You don't want to be with anything but him anymore, or something just like him. She was in my arms one day declaring such love for me and my scented hair caps, asking for my prayers and praying for her on that day, her in my arms that very day, crying and snotting all over my chest, and then come to my mail slot the very next day, which is an enclosed porch. And she had thrown my scented caps and my master's prayer beads given to me that I graced her with, his, and my bar car, and she had thrown them through my mail slot onto the floor or ground, where the next day I discovered them, and then it is months before I see this so-called human being again that declared their such love for me, who after being gone for I do not know how long, after declaring such love for me, all the garbage collectors will love this story, won't they? Now then, but this is not who this is for. This is for people who can feel and who recognize what pain is and who have compassion and know this kind of crap is wrong in people and don't like it, like I don't, and who want to do something about it in the world, who want to change these things that exist all around us. Our young boys blowing their faces off over nothing. Graveyard full of them, 15 and 16 years old, dead. All these children in Palestine being shot that are on their way to school that look just like your children. This should not exist in the world. There should not be no concentration camps or walls surrounding an entire population of people where they're snatched off their land and their houses are destroyed by bulldozers in the night while they sleep, and bulldozers are running over their children's heads and faces and blowing up entire villages and with smart bombs and killing innocent children. They aim for the schools to destroy them, and CNN is not showing you that. And people that speak out about it are coming up dead, and I don't care because I don't fear death. So I got a death wish. You want to come kill me, and you can. If God allow that, it's alhamdulillah. But I know you can't touch me because he got angels around me. And they will frack you up because he's already shown me where I'm going to leave this world, and nobody's taking my life. I'm going to offer it because that's the price I got to pay for God answering my prayer. Because he showed me he is as real today as he was in the day of Moses. And I haven't been right since he put his hands on me. And then he taught me all these religions and all this other stuff. But my initial encounter was not institutional. And I didn't understand that until now. And the reason why it wasn't is so I can deal with all these institutions that are messing people up left and right and got people killing each other in the name of their religions and massacring folk and eating folk alive and all kind of crazy crap they doing in the name of their religion that has never rejoined them to the one they calling themselves worshiping. And they hung up on stuff that is insignificant because my first love made it very plain. And you can't get no greater than the first. And he said, when he was asked, what is the greatest commandment? You can't get no greater than the greatest. So why go all around the greatest to a whole bunch of garbage that other folk put in there and jacked up later on and took out what they wanted and put in other things? And if you studied like Timothy told you to, you would come to these same conclusions. Because he said, study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed. And I believe that with all my heart. And I did that. And then they got angry with me because I did that. Because then that meant I'm challenging what you are teaching and doing that is not founded in truth, that I discovered. All that they did in the church councils to make Jesus into God, and the fist fights that they had right there in the church council. And one church father almost got his brains knocked out because one brother picked up a chair. It's in your books. All you got to do is go to the library and read. The two creeds that they debated about, and the Trinitarian one ended up being the one they accepted. But I think his name was Athanasius. If they had embraced his creed, they would have understood the coming of Muhammad. Because Jesus wasn't the end to that prophetic line. And he told you that too when he said, the first shall be last, and the last shall be first. He began in Ishak, but the firstborn son was not Ishak. And if you read Leviticus, all the rights of the law go to the firstborn son, who was Ishmael. And in his 42nd descent of Ishmael comes the prophet Muhammad. And if you read the book of Genesis, it tells you that all of Abraham's seed was to be blessed. So he can't be cursed and be blessed at the same time, because he is the descendant of Abraham, the faithful and the true, who was the father of four faiths, who was neither Muslim, Christian, or Hebrew, or any of that. He said, I am Hanafan. He said, Any wajatu wachil thee, patata sema wati watard Hanafan. Surely I've turned my face unto him who created the heavens and the earth, and I am not of those who associate partners with that one God. And every morning, the one you wrongly call Jesus, whose name is not Jesus, because there is no J in the Hebrew or Aramaic that he spoke. But you so devoted and don't even know your master's name. If your name is Ralph, do you want somebody calling you Roger? My name is SIAM, not SIAM or SHIAM or any am you want to put on it. And when I know people are doing that on purpose, I get rid of them like lightning. Because you're playing with something that's sacred to me. And I don't play with that which is holy and sacred. Because I know you'll get burnt up doing that. And there will be no prosperity to you whatsoever. And I didn't intend on saying that. I just want to read this letter and these poems to my baby who wrote me these lines. Because something inside me still says she's sincere. And if she's anything like me, and I'm her king, as I might think I am, the station I'm in is like Solomon's, and I'm not Solomon, but the station, the spiritual station. I'm commanded not to move until God tells me to. My Debar is spiritual. And this is to tell my baby, if that's who she is, forget everything if you love me like you wrote. Because I've discovered in my years on this planet that when you step out on faith like that, God always catches you. And not to worry about nothing. Pack it. And like he commanded Abraham to leave Ur of the Chaldees in the Bible, get up out of Dodge and come to me. If we got one piece of bread, we gonna make it. Because if you love me like these words say, I know we gonna make it. Yeah. Try not to cry for you people tonight, because y'all don't understand that Ibrahim was tenderhearted, but that don't mean he was a faggot or a punk. Because I will go upside the head in a minute that's wrong with me. And I would do it in the name of God with a smile on my face at this point, because I ain't scared of nothing. Walking, washing funk up on his arms, or brushing his teeth, or whatever it's doing, just like me, it's going to drop dead, just like me. I'm not scared of you. You come to my house acting a fool, you're going to meet a fool for real that's sold out to God like the real Abraham was, because that's my name, Ibrahim, and I am determined I'm going to live up to that name. And ain't nobody going to stop me from living up to that name, which means father of multitudes. Because he changed it from Abram, which was high father, to Ibrahim or Abraham. And when we put the ham on it and he put the him on it, he gave it multiplicity. That's my destiny. So Satan, the only thing you can do is stop a video. You fallen jinn. You're not a fallen angel. That's another thing they don't lie about, but that's another video, and I ain't making it for you. Angels can't fall. Jinns can fall. Angels are created from the pure light of Almighty God. They don't have any personal ego or will. They must do the will of Almighty God. They can't say no. There are no fallen angels. That's another manipulation in the scriptures. There are fallen jinn, another race that lives in a parallel universe to you and I. They see us from a place we cannot see them, but I can see them. Those God opens their eyes. And I hope this sound is on this video. So, I did not see this so-called human being again who after being gone for I do not know how long after declaring her such love for me now then writes me an email telling me how much she will always love my little cousin. No, the man that made this video no longer exists, and this man is removing his total personhood from all so-called human beings that could write me such words, perhaps, and I might be wrong about her. That's why I'm making this video, but this is what I wrote then. And refuse to send me a friend request or respond to any of my written words to them, for she makes me realize there are no human beings in my world at all. There are only lawless souls, and this said is not in reference to her really, but to the majority of you, and not to all of you. But some of you love SIAM, but it's not enough of you. Some of you really love me. Really. I love you too. So this said is not in reference so much to her, but to the majority of you needing a paid-for traffic light, because they are lawless, cruel, vicious, non-loving, giving, compassionate souls, but dogs camouflaging as human beings and not human beings at all. So please excuse his intense behavior on video 127, for where he was in a state and station he no longer is in this video. He still had hopes in that video. He still cared in that video and believed, and now he no longer believes in any of you and shall be leaving you to frack and kill you and everyone else going through the intersection called your wretched low-down lives, who will let me and mine starve to death after I give my all to you, that do not value one atomic thing that I am given, such intense all for free for. And I thank you, sister, for your wonderful words. You who have never bought my book, but just read and took my poems. And everybody who ever read my book has written back talking about how it changed their lives and how it touched their being. It's not a normal book because I didn't write it either any more than I'm writing anything else. Any more than I picked myself up off the floor and held myself in the air and defied gravity. And I did not do that either. That happened when I was praising God with my whole being. He quickened me. And I became lighter than light. And he allowed it to happen 2 times to me so I could never, because I got this intellect, see, like you got, that's always messing with you. The mind. That's why you can't get to God. And that's why I couldn't play drums. I can only play them when I'm thinking only of God. And I find this music coming out of me that I never created before until now, at this point in my life. And I now know I can do all things. Not through your concept of this, but my understanding. I can do all things through Christ, who strengthens me. Because that Christ is the anointing of Almighty God. That's what Christ means. So he wasn't born with a last name that you stick on him like John Brown. Jesus Christ. That's so stupid. And that wasn't his name. His name was Yahshua, or as he's called in the Arabic, it's Isa, alayhi salam. So don't write me your theological doctrines, and you don't even know my master's name any more than you know your own. You're a bad imitation of an original product. That's what I said, because it's the truth. And who told you the truth came to make you comfortable? Pat you on your head. And you stay the same fracked up way you've been for 40 or 50 years and die that way. And you get mad at somebody who comes and liberates you and make you free so you can fly instead of crawling and live instead of dying and have joy instead of pain and hell. You get mad at them and want to kill them and put them to death. Well, I already died. I already seen the other side and what's waiting for me. And I'm anxious to get there, so come on with it. You don't bother me. Cowards. Better come like you came back in the day, in your sheets, in your hosts at night when people wasn't prepared. Do it from the back. But I got angels in back of me. And David said they should hold me up. Because he said, the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. You frack and kill you and everyone else going through the intersection called your wretched low-down lives who will let me and mine starve to death after I give my all to you and do not value one atomic thing that I am giving such intense all for free. And I thank you, sister, for your wonderful words. Enjoy this page, people, while you yet can, for it soon shall not be here, and neither shall this idiot on this video or the poems he wrote for this sister that could write me such words and then act as though me or her does not exist. But I'm not so sure that's what's happening here. Or I wouldn't be doing this video for her. No, I'm not dealing with saintly people on this page, though. And my mission is to get the saints out of all faiths, because God has given this last call. And he's got people in all faiths, all of them. He got people that belong to him who love, because Jesus said in that first commandment, what is the greatest commandment? You call Jesus. Yahshua said, alayhi salam, thou shalt love the Lord thy God, not me. Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all your heart, because this is what he did. With all your mind, with all your soul, with all your strength. Then he put the horizontal on the vertical, which made it a seemingly a cross. And he said, thou shalt love thy neighbor as you love yourself. And that's the same thing that Muhammad said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that you shall want for your brother and sister what you want for yourself. And that's bigger than just my little clique or my little club. That's this entire humanity is your brother and your sister. The Buddhist is your brother and your sister. The Hindu is your brother and sister. The Sikh is your brother and sister. Those with a religion, those without a religion, your brothers and sisters. And you don't care about your brothers and sisters because you haven't learned to love and care about you. And that's the problem. No inner transformation. That everybody's patchworking and trying to change things from without. And the change is not from without. The change is from within. Because I can pass a law that'll stop you from lynching me, but I can't stop your heart from wanting to. But if you can get a transformation from within, you won't want to lynch nobody. There won't be no need for a law to stop you from lynching, because there won't be no lynching, because it won't be in your heart to murder or to kill or to exterminate another human being. that has a right to live just like you, and has a right to their olive garden just like you, and has a right to their house just like you, and has a right to a car just like you, and just has a right to a place to lay down and a piece of bread to eat just like you, and you eat your bread and don't concern yourself about your brother next door to you who might not have any bread at all. I'm dealing with a bunch of people on my page like that. So I'm wasting my time, ain't it? No, I'm not dealing with saintly people. I'm dealing with things that need a traffic light. For the law was made for the lawless, and grace was made for the saints, and there are no saints here. She had made me believe, though, that there just might be one. One. But sometimes what things appear is not what they are. So I'm praying heavy over this, but this is the way I was feeling when I wrote this, understand? But her behavior makes me know they're not even one. It appears that way. Yes, thank you for your words, sister, that you could not have meant, or could you? Or you would have demonstrated them by coming into the light, not going into the shadows and darkness, hiding, avoiding in the blackness of the night. But it could be that she's sensitive like me and has been hurt. Doesn't know how to come forward. And could be that she loves me so much she doesn't want to mess it up. And so she's staying at a distance until she feels safer. I don't know. But in that unknowing, or that cloud of unknowing, I'm going to give this video to her because of how her words touch me. But here I said, you could not have meant at all what you would have demonstrated them. You would have demonstrated by coming into the light, not going into the shadows and darkness, hiding, avoiding in the blackness of the night. And the way I feel is just like I'm reflecting on what I've already known, and like we do, our pain, what we've gone through in the past, it sometimes blinds us to something wonderful in the present. So I'm not sure. And when I'm not sure, I'm able to admit that and not pretend like others. And that's why God has been so gracious to me, because I don't have that kind of heart. When I'm wrong, I tell him I'm wrong, and I ask for his strength to overcome my wrong or my misperceptions. I just don't continue on in them without a repentance or coming to God with some kind of metanoia or tauba to ask God's forgiveness for what I might have misperceived or what I might have done wrong. It's difficult for me to deal with people that don't have that kind of heart. Just like it's difficult for God to deal with it, because he said in the Quran, Fika Lubihim Malada Bazada Humulahu Malada, Walahuma Dabun Alimun Bimakanu Yak Dibun. In their hearts is a disease. And God himself hath increased that disease. Why? Because they are untrue to themselves. You lie to yourself. You believe in your lie more than you believe in the truth. So you call Satan God and you call God Satan. And that's an unforgivable sin. That's a state. And that's why Isa or Yahshua said to those fools that day after he healed that paraplegic, that God healed that paraplegic through him, because he was totally absent in that moment. Not that he was God, but a man can get so close to God that you would think he is God. And so Yahshua told you, me, and everybody, greater things than these shall you do, and you will never be greater than God. So he couldn't have been talking or thinking like that. And how many pastors have you heard preach that passage? You should have come to my church. We had foot stomping, singing with no music. Yeah, on Beaumont Avenue at Cleves Memorial CME Church. I'm so glad God got me out of that. Sisters was coming out the woodwork. They were coming out the ceilings, buying me $300 monogram shirts with my signatures on them, $1,000 suits. And what were you trying to turn me into? I was single. Yeah. Bought me out of my own money, a little MG midget. They don't even make them anymore. The last model they made, I had it, convertible. Uh-huh. Same brother said it wasn't gonna be no Bible study. Come to me, he said to me, he said, yeah, Reverend Smith, you see you got your sports car. Yeah. He talked with a southerner. I can't get that one too good. Uh, you got nothing to take your parishioners around in. And I said to him, what's that? That's one of them foreign cars, ain't it? I said, it's British made. It's a two-seater. I said, you see that M and that G on there? Yeah, I've been meaning to ask you about that. What that MG mean? I said, it stands for me and God. And it mean your ass ain't supposed to be riding around in my sports car with me, because I didn't come down here to be your bus. I came down here to pastor you. And you've been running this church and running the pastors. And that's just not going to happen here. So it became the smokingest church in the city. We went out on the corner and sold fish, and I came up with the $5,000. The hoe went out and got the money. Got the money for the pimp, who was a homosexual, now dead from AIDS. Probably because of what he did to me. As the Bible tells you, touch not my anointing and do my prophets and messengers no harm. So we come up with the money. Reverend Smith, across the sheet. We stand up, everybody's applauding, and he demotes me and sends me to Walterboro, South Carolina, to pastor another 300 plus membership church that nobody could handle, nobody could raise the conference claims. Went out and sold barbecue and built a barbecue pit that's still sitting in the front yard of the church today with my name on it. We built it and we sold barbecue that I came up with the daggone sauce that was so mean. Everybody was buying it. We came up again across the sheet. He demotes me and sends me to Charleston, South Carolina, to pastor a church with no parsonage, roof falling in. Had a bunch of members. Now only got about 6 or 7 members. And man, we drove back and forth. We was gonna pastor them too, because we a person and we gonna start something. We gonna finish it. We've been a warrior all our life. So ain't no sense in being no punk now. I ain't intend on saying none of these things. So I said, this page should soon be gone, and so shall a SIAM from you all, and I wish you a safe traffic light, because you and this person that could write me such words and then go hide as though she did not shall all need a very good traffic light. For my God's words I spoke to you about you not supporting this SIAM shall surely come to pass. Surely come to pass. Surely come to pass. All your finances, you will find have holes in them until you do right by me. I say assalamu alaikum to all. Please forgive me for any mistakes in this writing. I no longer give a damn in correcting them before presenting them, because for 4 years I have demonstrated too much caring about everything entirely too long. You all belong. I'm not so sure this is true. You may not all belong with this girl. I don't want to believe that you belong with this girl. I want to believe this girl belongs with me, because I never found no girl that ever wrote me nothing this beautiful. And I'm going to read it in a minute before I read a poem. So you might want to turn this video off, because y'all lazy. And if you don't get instant coffee, you just ain't going to drink none. That's how stupid you are. I want fresh brew. Gotta be right. Don't give me no instant nothing. So I said, I no longer give a damn in correcting them before presenting them because for 4 years I have demonstrated too much caring about everything entirely too long. You all belong with this girl that wrote me such words and then turns around and ignores all of mine to her. I do not belong with these kinds of people calling themselves human beings. For human beings do not have behavior such as this. They would have too much God within them to ever be like this. The law was made for the lawless. Grace was made for the saints. Sister, thank you for your words. You do not and could not mean. I don't know about that. When I return to me alone, I do know about this. I return to my alone with God and leave all to go through their needed traffic lights. And I'm not correcting any mistakes here because I no longer believe in the majority of you. Assalamu alaikum. We want to leave that now. I'm going to give this girl this grace because her words to me made me want to keep the page open. And now I'm not sure her words were true. So why keep the page open if she's not? Because it's open for her. Because I thought I found one person worthy of this page. And if I found one worthy of it, then the page should remain. She wrote this to me. She said, even if they're not true, then I like this lie. But I don't think it's a lie. I think she meant what she said when she said her soul is incomplete without mine. I sent the mother of my son a big fat eye heart thing, today. Because I was trying to maybe get back with her because we got the son. But she made me remember why we not together in the first place because she sent me back a hand with a thumb up. And hey, that ain't what I sent you. I sent you my heart. You sent me a hand with thumb. And I wrote back, where's my heart? And she didn't, I don't know if she got offline or what, but yeah, how you get? I'm not know you. I'm going to give you my heart. You going to give me a hand up? I'm going to give you non-compartmentalized love, and you going to give me what? Some sectional loving? You going to dole yours out to me, huh? Anatomically particleized. No, you're not going to do me like that. Because if I'm going to love you, I'm going to love you with my whole being. I'm not going to love you with part of me. And you're not going to give me less than what I'm giving you. Nobody's going to do that anymore with me. Because I don't have to tolerate that. Because I paid too many painful dues to have to tolerate that. You understand? Been paying them all my life. Had to be 10 times better than Johnny Blow Joe, white boy soul, at Harvard in order to get what he got without even working for it. I had to work for mine. And that's what's sitting on the wall back there. The DNC student in high school graduated with honors from Harvard. I paid dues. Didn't nobody give me nothing. Like James Brown say, open up the door. I get it myself. And God opened up the door and I went for it. Because the door was never supposed to open for me. And God opened it for me. And I bring it to you. You don't value it? Hell no. But let me touch something sweet and soft for a minute in this video. Because this is sweetest, softest thing that has ever been given to me. If you meant these words, you come to Solomon, you obey his command, and he will obey yours when you get to him, because you're to be my cover in the world. And I'm incomplete without your soul. I can't do it without you. Not right. Or I can win the game without a queen. But really, you don't need anything but God. God said it is not good that man should be alone. So he made his Saujika. He took a rib from him and gave her his better qualities. That's why she's stronger than him. That's why she can bear a baby over 9 months, seeing he can't. That's why she can raise an entire family as he runs off, showing how much he's a man and can't even take care of his own children. And a man that don't take care of his own children, I'm sorry, he ain't shit. And I learned that too much pain. So I take out of my check first for my son. If it means me going hungry for the month, Jilly ain't gonna go hungry. You never asked me for nothing. His daddy can't get him a new bike because you won't support him. You wrong. And I'm gonna leave you with that wrong. God will help me get him his bike because he deserves it. He prays every day, runs to the mosque, outprays the imam. Oh yeah, loves praying. Don't nobody make him. Loves going to the mosque. Don't nobody make him. Nobody make him into no institution. He just loves. He know that's where they doing the thing, so he go. He get on the road and wait for somebody grown going that way. They tell me, puts on his boo-boo by himself and be waiting. Now I wonder where he get that kind of thing from. Me and that boy, last time I was together, he got off the bed, got down on his daddy, man. I'm gonna put our feet together. He's got feet, look just like my feet. Same kind of feet. Same feet, just like mine. Forget my tears. They don't mean nothing to you. You know, when I was a kid, I start crying and whoop everybody's ass. Don't think they weak. I cried just before I whoop. Excuse me. Tesha wrote me this. She said, your words are poetry from your lips and a song that is sung. Talk like me. Though it is my eyes that read them, not accompanied by your voice, my ears need not be pressed. Even though I cannot look upon your face and touch you, these conventional ways need not be once addressed. She's a poet, man. I trust it is what the eyes can't see. How long I've been preaching this and living it and suffering it among so many that don't live this and believe this. I trust it is what the eyes can't see and bodies can't grasp, which is the soul is the true essence of love. This is where I love you. Where else can one love? The ding-a-ling and Yanni gonna wear out. That's gonna get boring after a while. What's gonna hold you together when that no longer exists? And ain't nothing wrong with mine. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Before enlightenment, Chopping wood was chopping wood. Drawing water was drawing water. After enlightenment, chopping wood was chopping wood, and drawing water was drawing water. You still do the same things, but you do them with a different quality. The art of lovemaking is done with a different quality. With a different quality. And we got that quality. Seasoned, mellowed. When the girl come up in here, better come right. Because we know what to do with her. A woman is a flower that you men jump up on and jump off of. Then wonder why she run off and leave you behind. You never took the time to open her or to caress her petals or any of that. You don't know how to make love because you never learned how to love yourself first. This is where I love you, she says. Upon your completed mission. No, there is no completed mission without my other half. In order to complete it, I need her. You're wrong on that. Now your king is telling you that. What kind of queen are you going to be? Are you going to disobey your king? If you disobey Solomon, there is no blessing in it for you. The blessing is in obedience. And obedience is better than sacrifice. As Saul, who ended up blowing everything. And God never went unto him again, because he did not wait for Samuel to come and bless the offering. Don't come bring me the book, because I know the book. It's what made me to know that the Quran was the next level, because I knew the book in the Hebrew and Aramaic. And Muhammad's name is all up in there. You can't see it. The King James Version sits on the shelf of 12 other versions of translations of an original product they can't find to this day. An original manuscript they can't find to this day. 12 translations. Interpretations upon interpretations of an original manuscript they can't find to this day. And you gonna base your whole basis on that which has been tampered with like that. No, you better read Al Quran and some other things too. You shall know the truth. The truth ain't gonna make you comfortable, but it will make you free. It'll liberate you. It'll get you out of all them boxes they got you trapped up in. You'll be able to address them and go in and out of them, and they be still stuck, like stupid in super glue. Mad at you because you no longer one of the animals trapped in the zoo, as I addressed on, I think, video 119 or 118. This is where I love you. Upon your completed mission, I am here in this seat of loyalty, she said. No, we need you in this seat of loyalty right here. That's what your king is telling you. If you love me, obey me, as Jesus said. You call him Jesus. As Joshua said, if you love me, you obey my commandments. And I have just as much right to say that as he did, because he said, greater things than these shall you do. And I believed his words. And if you read the Gospel of Barnabas, you'll really understand his words. Very clear there. These fragments that we have, written 70 years after his ascension. 70 years after, by some men supposed to be remembering what was going on 70 years, 90 years later. The book of Revelation is a 90-year later book. And the most original of the gospel is Mark's. And they say that in school we learn this. In didactic study, that is the most original so-called gospel that everybody else based these others on. And you don't know what the church fathers did when they put all these books in a room and then say they went out and left them overnight and come back and certain ones was there and certain ones was gone. This is in your church history. And they say the Holy Spirit picked out what books was going to go in the canon. They lied. Go to the Catholics, they got an altogether different set of Bible than you got. Don't bring me your crap. Don't come step to Papa with that half stepping, because I'll do an R. Kelly on your ass. Excuse me. You do have an ass. That's in the Bible. It's written there. He that pisses against the wall is there. They tried to get together and put me out of Bible college for the language I was using in my poems. And I went and got a whole panoramic thing of Michelangelo's painting of the Sistine Chapel and set it up in the room where all the teachers would gather. I said, anybody know who painted this? And they said, uh, one of them said, the Sister Grow. I think I said, well, who painted it? They got the wrong name. I said, Michelangelo painted this. I said, it's naked bodies all over the Sistine Chapel wall. Do you think it was socially acceptable in the 16th century to paint naked bodies all over the church? And I said, the church fathers came together and they said, Michelangelo, you have blasphemed God by painting this on this wall. And Michelangelo said, no, I haven't blasphemed God. I said, you have blasphemed God, because you made man into something that he wasn't. This is how God created him, with no clothes. They left Michelangelo alone. And the Sistine Chapel exists today with his paintings. And they left me alone too, because I came at them with so much love. They try to take one or two words I use in a poem talking about black preachers get up off your chairs of isolated funkiness. And I'm saying the same thing today that I was saying back there when I was going to Ohio State and trying to finish Union at the same time. I'm saying the same thing today. Black preachers get up off your pimping chairs. I'm saying to the sheikhs in Tuba, get up off your pimping chairs. You supposed to be serving the people. St. Tuba squatted on the ground. He wasn't sitting up on no high thrones. And he said in his writings that his grandchildren would be like they are today. And that's why he didn't put his mantle around their neck. He put it around mine. And you're not going to come to me with anything less than you go to any of them. You're going to come to me with more. Because I have Serene Salu's station in the world. I don't have his personality. I have his station. St. Tuba said he had two sons in the book called Al-Majma. One would have all of his wealth in Tuba. One would have all of his wealth in the Baton, and a brother who teaches all the boys Arabic there. Jakati. Babaki Jakati. My friend said, St. Tuba wrote about you, Sheikh Ibrahim. I said, man, you got to be kidding me. He said, I'll bring you the book. Because he was listening to a story that was told to him about me. He said, I know who you are now. St. Tuba said his sun would rise in the west and set in the east. You better find out that that sun is bigger than even St. Tuba. Ready, Allahu Anhu. The world don't know who St. Tuba is. It is my task to unveil him to you, but not according to Senegalese. You're not Senegalese. I have to come to you in a way you can understand. So I come banging you with the Qasidas that are all in Wolof and Arabic. You run. You don't understand them yet. I can't teach you that. I have to come to you with a reason. And her father first. Because I love them too. I grew up on them. I understand you. They don't understand you. They think they're superior to you. Oh yeah, I live with them. I know how they think. Arrogant, proud, can't tell them nothing. They think they got a monopoly on St. Tuba. St. Tuba's meant for the entire planet. And I'm the fool that's going to bring it that way. And you're going to be last to get it. Because like he told them in Mauritania, he said, if you look at me with my black skin, he said, you will miss. And half of Mauritania ended up becoming his disciples. And all the greatest saints ended up studying at his feet. And I'm not seeking nobody to come to my feet. I'm trying to run from you, Nagaros. And that's more than black to me. I'm trying to run from all of you. Trying to run from you. She said, this is where I love you. Upon your completed mission, I'm here in this seat of loyalty, the seat where I once would stand. You're going to have to come kiss me on that one and tell me what that means, baby. I want you to teach me. I want my Sajika to teach me. I want a smart woman. I don't want no dumb woman. I don't want nobody I can dominate and can control and manipulate. No. I want my baby. I want my queen who respects me, who can tell me when I'm wrong, that I can listen to like she listens to me. And we teach each other. We love each other through it all. Don't bring me no bullshit. I already addressed what that word means to me. Don't bring me no bullshit. I'm not looking for no bullshit. I'm looking for somebody real. As Valerie Simpson and Ashford said, that won't fade in the light of day. Won't throw my prayer beads back after asking for my prayers the day before. We don't see them again until, what, 6 or 7 months later, and they're running with a birthday card and run out the back door. For I have made loyalty my friend, she said. Who talks like this but me? This chalice of yours you passed to me, my lips would not drink then. Now I sip in patience and truth, for it is my soul that is incomplete without yours. Well, see, that got me. What you think I'm going through? What you think this is? The Wafflehead Fred show? Or you think I've been in the world all this time without my soul being complete? And I've been warned with it incomplete. I'm doing pretty good, though. But I do better with you close to me, or whoever she's meant to be. For it's my soul that is incomplete without yours. She got me again here, though I weep in my prayers. Oh, yeah? Well, you should see me. I'm weeping on this video. And on another one they made me cry on. They're going to pay for that, too. You're going to pay for any tears you make me give. Because I'm sold out to God. So you messing with God's property here. You're not messing with no fake person here. Better go on down there to the Little Egypt Baptist Church and mess around with him who's caught in the bed with another man and he's still passing down there. You're going to find me in the bed with another negro. Find me in the bed whooping his behind for trying to get up in my bed. And I ain't trying to destroy all homosexuals either. I got many friends that are gay. I love them, but I don't love their lifestyle that's killing them. No, I do not. I do not love that lifestyle. So if you got an attitude with me because I got a right to who I am, then we just gonna war then. Because I got a right to what I know and what I want to live. Just like you want to live that backwards crap, I got a right to go forward. And I'm not applauding your backwards. I'm going to applaud you because I love you. That don't mean I love your wrong. That you don't made right. Like one brother told me, if it's in the Bible, I snatch it out. You snatch it out the Bible, but you won't snatch it out of God's eye. He made Adam and Eve. He didn't make Adam and Steve. And all the scriptures tell you that. You got a right now, huh? Watch what God gonna do in a minute to this whole daggone planet, because your rights done got on his last nerve, just like he did centuries ago. And he is the same today, yesterday, and forevermore. Frack with the living God, will you? Or his anointed. Though I weep in my prayers, we got commentary on this piece, don't we? I intensely grasp faith that you come back to me complete. Come keep me complete, baby. Make sure I'm complete. That's your responsibility. Now, let the master teach you that you know is the master. I don't have to beat you to know that. You can see that. And I suffered to be not a slave. Brother wrote to me, kept telling me, well, we slaves of Allah. You a slave of Allah. And all the slaves don't get into his intimate chambers. Only his friends get up in his bedroom. You a slave. God is my friend. The only best friend I got. This is the first poem that came as a response to your words to me. I say, I'm a lone song in this world, spinning, twirling, alone. Without you here, hearing, nearing my soul song. Incomplete, incomplete. An open, broken, seeping, lighted egg. Incomplete, lost in the painful world, whirling, dark, without the strength of your compassionate, merciful, loving me light in the starless sky nights. My space of grace seen in your beautiful face. Your galactic nebulae eyes have set my soul on fire. Your eyes, your eyes, your eyes lit up only for me. I am vast complexities. I am vast, complex emptiness without your joy and holiness of heart in my life. I never leave my room. I never leave my room. I never leave my room. I am alone, waiting for your Nubian royal womb to give me expanding, luminous birth, waiting here for you in supreme, majestic, mystic consciousness. You are my brightest crown, effulgent, shining star to ascend, your kingdom throne. This is Tanisha's video. The hell with you. This is Tanisha's video. Shouldn't have wrote me that. Yeah, you should have. But you need to do something about it now, because your king is calling you. The greatest prophet, Sullivan Sam, said that when a king calls a woman, if she's on a camel, she must get off of it. Obedience is better than sacrifice. Ain't nothing gonna happen to you here, except you're gonna be protected. And somebody get fracked up for messing with you. Pack it. Bring it. I don't care. He has never let me fail. And whenever I've taken leaps in the dark, you should read my archives. How I got in Harvard. Man, walk up on a Sunday when the sun was setting on the richest street in downtown Boston. Nobody was black trying to get no job. I had less than $5 in my pocket sitting on top of my car. My sister-in-law said, man, you crazy. You know, brought your wife and everything up here. And you ain't got no place to stay and this and that. And you got no job. You better come on and go back to Waterboro. I said, God didn't send me to Waterboro. He sent me to Boston. And I said, the God that sent me to Boston, got a job, got a place for me to stay. As soon as I said that, the sun is setting on a Sunday on Newberry Street. White man walks around the corner with a newspaper on his arm, then walks up to me and asks, how you doing? I said, well, I'm blessed. And blah, let's go. We sit on top of the car. He said, I'm the manager of the picnic restaurant up the street. He said, I'm looking for a breakfast cook. He said, but you know, you got to be able to handle 4 skillets and all this and all that and not break the eggs. And he said, I see you got a license plates from Ohio. You wouldn't be that. Man, in less than 5 seconds, I relived all I went through as a 17-year-old struggling in high school, working a job at Frisch's Big Boy, and they loved me because I made them laugh. He said I was so smart and talented. The guy became my friend, and man, he said he took me from being a dishwasher to training me to be a breakfast cook. And I said I can't do no skillets like that. I can't. He said you can handle it. He said I'm gonna show you how to do one skillet at a time. I got to the point where I could handle 4 or 5 skillets without breaking eggs at the same time. I put on the Temptations, Jack. I had them lined up outside waiting on my French toast. And I'd be dancing and performing just like they do in the Benihana. I'd be doing it from a standpoint of an African. I jammed it. I jammed it. I'm frying eggs and flipping bacon. I'm bored. And I did it with such, I was dancing and doing and singing. Man's business increased I don't know how many times. Did the same thing in Boston for him. He said, I said, yeah. He said, yeah. I said, yeah, I know somebody who cook breakfast out there. I'm sitting there looking at my sister-in-law sitting there with her eyes buck wide open, mother-in-law in the car. And they thought I was crazy a long time ago. On a Sunday, on Newberry Street, the sun is setting. Ain't nobody supposed to get no job here. I got no place to stay, got no money. I didn't go there to go to Harvard. I wanted to get in the Alma Lewis School of Fine Arts, pursue my acting career. He said, when can you start? Why did I have such a hard time in high school? I wonder. Everybody else was driving their mama's cars and everything else, and she wouldn't help me with jack. I had to shoot dice on the school bus to make my money to buy my cashmere coats and my Stetson hats, and I had to hustle on the Orion Street Bridge shooting dice, whooping heads with Chico and Willard and all my East Side buddies. I was a gangster. He said, can you be at work tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock or 7? We slept in our car in Boston Commons, most dangerous place in Boston. Not nobody bothered us. Next morning, I'm flipping eggs like a mug. Within 2 or 3 days, I had my skills back. Man, his business had people lined up on the outside to get in. We used to take sandwiches home to Bert for breakfast and lunch. That's what we ate. We had a $25 room. Then I met a brother who was at Harvard, and he was a poet, and we got to be friends. I was studying Tai Chi with his buddy, and he lived in a room in there. And man, that's how I got in Harvard. He kept telling me, you know, go over and talk about, man, they ain't let me in no Harvard. You still interested in world religions and mysticism? Yeah, but I didn't finish Ohio State. Yeah, but you was an outstanding senior. You was nominated. Yeah, you did this, you did. Yeah, well, they ain't gonna let me in Harvard. You don't know until you go. So I went over and sat down with the greatest Old Testament professor in the world. I didn't know. I was ignorant. Dr. Paul Hansen, he examined me. He said, we need talented black students like you in this school. I said, what? He said, everything is gone. No scholarships available. Everything is closed. He said, but I tell you what, Ibrahim, if you can get me in 3 references in the next 7 days, he said, I'll see what I can do. Do you know? Next thing I know, I'm sitting at the feet of the greatest theologian of the 20th, 21st century, who became my best friend, not just my professor. First name basis. And most of my courses were with Dr. Cox in applied theology. He taught me the meaning of applied. I didn't intend to tell you any of this. I'm reading Tanisha's poems. Forget you. Hey, I'm reading you. This is for Tanisha. Oh, you who weep. You weep too in your prayer? Come. Let us both do together just one weeping. We have a good time together, baby. Also, you also weep in your prayers. Ibrahim the faithful and true was tenderhearted, the book says. I was slain and flayed of this illusionary world through so much pain. Now your present gain. My meaning, holy name, inside all your future todays before a zillion tomorrows. Word, worlds, levitate my mating you equation. The astounding, profounding, such abounding, they now atomically flow through me like a roaring lion sea inside you of we without thought or manipulation. Already existing long before you were born. This you, my awaited so long. Of Tahata, this suchness of things, this suchness of things, this way of things, this way of suchness, acceptance of that suchness, so muchness of this Tahata, Heart Sutra song, longing to elevate your sanctification, free of religious prison cells and institutional confinement, lock and key, draped and aped convict wardens, confounding, stifling contraction. I am your everlasting, mystical, living, loving you expansion. Your photo. Did diamond mines fall out of your loving me, laughing Buddha Christ eyes? Well, I don't think she has any more yet. There may be one or two. I don't know. New book of poems. Another new book of poems. Well, we got about 7 new books of poems. Don't put about people put out 100-page book of poems at the most. Mine got 300 and 400 pages each book. So whenever we find this publisher, we're gonna be rich, so we can help all these kids because we're gonna separate these books into books like the rest of them doing. So we got a lot of books that. Plus we got the open sitting out there. How your computer skills? Come help Daddy get it together, baby. Think we need you real bad right now, not after the mission, but to get the mission done. You know what I'm saying? If you wrote me that and you meant that, the door is wide open for you. What you gonna do? What the rest of them do? I'm gonna share this one with you. They that make a difference poem. Because this is applicable. All the great, rich, famous people that have made a difference in this world would have been great, rich, famous, and made a difference in this world sooner if they had ignored the low-down, unbelieving, hating, jealous dogs in their hometown that did everything they could to destroy them, did not believe in them, and always prayed and hoped they would never be rich, famous, great, and make a difference or to make a difference in this world. Oh, yeah, you got another one, Tanisha. All me been through in this life, all the betrayal, abandonment, denial, isolation, rejection, disassociation, fragmentation, compartmentalization, segregation, dissatisfaction, disgust, and wretched tribulation and agonizing pain we have had to taste, feel, smell, hear, touch, and see. They are going to remember me when I am gone. They shall never forget me. because I am going to raise so much hell that I shall bring heaven down. This might apply too. The Sheikh answers, stranger, but this should be sitting here, and this right here. My son, it is strange you should write and ask me something I know very well, especially this atomic tahata such and some things moment. But to keep things short and sweet, I'm going to make this answer real simple for you. If you are in your proper station, Khalifa, Maqam of creation, Adamahu, Insan, Camille, if you're in your proper station and a queen approaches you with longing of admiration of your and your station's presence, and you are standing perfectly four-squared, base, divine of your large pyramidal kingdom, authoritative, perfect creational command, and you give her a command, not from your ego, but from your absent, detached from carnal self, impeccable, spiritual and mystical, pure heart and love of God, commitment, and she cannot obey that command from you instantly with absolute joy and obedience, no matter what this woman is talking. Leave that woman as though she were never created to be born, for she is not in her proper station to be anywhere near you. She is playing games. You cannot afford to play with her, and is invisible to you. You ask my advice, obey it, or do not waste your or my valuable time. Assalatu wa salamu ala mursalina. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Our Father which art in heaven, holy is your name. Thy kingdom come. Abba, 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 Abba. Thy will be done. Abba, 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 Abba. On earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, thine is the glory, and thine is the power. Ameen, Ameen, Ya Rabbal Alameen. This is my command to you from this station, which is God's command to you. Because 22 came out to be what it was, and I wrote it. And I put those surahs down for you. And I posted most of the day, yesterday, for you, Tanisha. If you love me like that, come to me before soon. And if you're that girl, it's time, because it's getting ready to send me out to the whole world. So I don't think my people are on Facebook. I think some in Nigeria and elsewhere in the world that I'm supposed to be dealing with. These people I don't believe in them anymore. But I still believe in you, or this video would not exist. Anyway, Jati Wachila the Patara Samawati Wadar Hanafan. Wabayana Mina Mushrikina. Subhanakalahuma wa bihamdika wa tabaraka ismuka wa ta'ala jadika la ilaha garuk. Tiyatu lillahi wa salawatu wa tabatu. Assalamu alaikum. Ayuhan nabi rahmatuhu. Assalam alayna wa ibadillahi salihin. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abdu rasuluhu. Allahumma salli ali Muhammadin wa ali Muhammadin kama sallaita ali Ibrahim wa ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidun Majid. Allahumma barik ali Muhammadin wa ali Muhammadin kama barakta ali Ibrahim wa ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidun Majid. Rabbi Alni Muki Masilati wa min zuriyati Rabbana wa taqabbal Rabbana firli wali dayyi wali mu'minin yawma yakumul hisab. Ya Rabbana atina fi dunya hasanatan wa fil akhirati hasanatan wa qina adhaban nar. Wadami ran kula adain to the rubana. Kablal was sulilana. Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah. Ya Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yashua, 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 alayhi salam. Yashua, 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 alayhi salam. Yashua, 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 alayhi salam, alayhi salam, alayhi salam. I hope the sound came out for Tanisha. Frack you, because you will let me starve to death and my son starve to death. That's why God's going to deal with you harshly. Because I've given everything to him. Don't mess with God's anointed. Touch them not and do his prophets and messengers no harm. Don't take from them. Don't abuse them. Nothing good will happen to you until you do right by me. Do I look like a liar to you?